What's up, everybody? Once again, this is Team B here. This is Bill Mack, as always, right along with
Bullet B, a.k.a. Brandon. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful day or night. Thanks for watching. While you're here, friends, my friends, please hit the like button and subscribe to us. Help a brother out. This show is for you guys as well as us. We enjoy doing it. And we appreciate the time that you're taking to watch this video. So I hope you're having a good day, Bill. How you doing? Just got that PS4, didn't you?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Gonna put a killing on it tomorrow, man. I'm taking it kind of easy with it right now, but dude, tomorrow I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna really get into it, man. I'm real happy about it, dude. I really am, man. I mean, it's just so much is going on, man. And finally glad to get it, and I'm gonna put it. Can't wait to get crack out as soon as I can get the money and get that WWE 2K16. That's
yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. WWE 2K16, man, it's the best, dude. I like 2K15 when the haters didn't, and 2K16 is twice as better, man. I can't imagine, man. You know, it's gonna be so fun, man. It's got the Stone Cold career mode, all kinds, a lot of modes in it. You know,
it's good, man. That's why I love wrestling.
I love showcase mode from last year. That's making a return. Make all kinds of wrestlers, man. Fight online. I'm gonna do my entrance. I'm gonna fight Elvis for Frank again, round 2. Do all kinds of stuff, man, for the show. But speaking of wrestling, man, so like, you said who's injured this week, Bill? Cesaro's out. Orton.
Breaking news: we have another injury, folks. This happened over the weekend at a live event. Everyone's favorite guy that everyone loves to hate, Mr. You Look Stupid himself, the Celtic Warrior Sheamus.
Yay, he's injured. Yay.
Sheamus
Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out.
Sheamus is among the list of others that have gotten hurt. This time, they said he was after the match, he was complaining of his back going to the back, and the referee had to throw up the dreaded X. Yeah. They usually know when that dreaded X comes up. That's bad news for them. So they're thinking it may be his back. Still waiting to hear back on what's going on, but as of right now, you know, Sheamus is going to be. Don't know if he's going to miss much time or depending on how much, but you know, I mean, hey, just add another clink to the tank when you see another wrestler going down. Now is when Vince is going to have to step up, man, because he's losing all these guys, dude, left and right. You know, I mean, you don't build people up, now you're losing everybody. Yeah, but the Celtic Warrior, Mr. Rocksteady himself, is going to end is looking to be injured. So we'll see how that goes now when wrestling on TV, because I guess they're going to do something with him. You know, he's still going to be a top card guy since they don't have really anybody left. But now another one bites the dust, as the song says, and we'll see how it goes.
Bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. Yep. Another one bites the dust. Bye-bye, Sheamus. Don't come back. Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. Good boy. Man, talking about somebody that was exposed last week when he had that promo with that tater top promo. Man, I thought Sheamus could cut a promo and hold his own. Sound like 2 5-year-olds going at it. Well, fella, I would get in the ring, but you got a ladder in the ring. Well, I'll get rid of the ladder. Well, fella, I would get in there, but you got a table in it. Well, I'll get rid of the table. Well, fella, I would get in there, but you got your ass in the ring. Well, I can't get rid of that. Why the fuck didn't Roman just go outside to him, for one thing?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Sheamus, but no, everybody's fed up with Sheamus, man. They're sick of Sheamus.
Fucking sucks, man. He's boring as shit. The only thing cool about Sheamus is his entrance. I do like his entrance and his heel music. I do like that. That's cool. But other than that, he fucking sucks. Changing his hair, changing his look, that ain't gonna change nothing, man. He's fucking boring, dude. When he was a baby face on SmackDown, a SmackDown champion, I'm like, this guy's fucking corny as shit. He don't have the cool factor. Whether a heel or Stone Cold Steve Austin, when he was a heel and a baby face, he had that cool factor. Right. Sheamus does not have the cool factor. He's not cool at all. The 5'15" Sheamus, nobody's gonna buy that.
Corny.
I know one person that buy that shirt. You know what I'm saying? But it's just not cool.
Yeah.
It ain't Austin 316. It don't have that cool factor, dude. Kevin Owens, that's a cool motherfucker. That is a cool motherfucker right there. If you want to talk about the cool factor. Cesaro, he's got the cool factor.
But people won't push him, man. Vince just don't push these people.
Sheamus put out fires, man. Sheamus is a firefighter. All he needs is one of them Dixie Man hats. He's a fuck with an R on it for redneck. That's what he needs, dude. He's a fucking fire. Seriously, he's a firefighter. When I see Sheamus, he looks like a good old firefighter, man, putting out forest fires. He does. He like an old firefighter. He ain't cool, man. He's a fucking fire truck.
Irish fellow.
He's an Irish redneck that drives a fire truck, or he's supposed to be. He just looks like it, man. Dude, I like Sheamus theme music and shit, but he just ain't got it, man. He's nobody likes Sheamus, you know. All these wrestling podcasts.
I don't know how they're going to fix that, dude. I totally don't, because Sheamus isn't someone that they can remake over that's not going to be boring. It's like you give somebody turkey every single day to the year, and then one night you decide to put you put a different coating over it and try to change the color of it. I mean, hey, it may look different, but it's still going to taste the same. And you're still tired of it, see, and you're not wanting no more of it. That's the way Owens. That's the way that Sheamus has got with his fans. As far as Owens, man, I'm a big Owens fan, dude. You know that. I know that as well. So I enjoy him, and why he's not getting pushed up to that level right now, especially with all these injuries, is well beyond me. Because now's the time they got to do that, man. Vince.
Beyond me too. I don't know if I like Kevin Owens or Seth Rollins more. That's my two favorites right there, man. That's my favorites of the year.
Yeah.
They're new, refreshing, new generation, man. And it's like Seth Rollins is injured. Why the fuck ain't Kevin Owens the top heel? Bray Wyatt with his flock could be the top heel because he's got the flock to protect them. They can make a strong heel out of that because he's got people protecting them. They don't have to use up. What the fuck's the point of the League of Nations with Sheamus? To protect them, right?
Exactly.
Put it on Bray Wyatt. He's got the Wyatt family to protect him. That way you don't need the authority. You don't need the League of Nations. You already had a faction right there in the Wyatts.
That's true, man. I mean, that was, if you set that feud right, WWE, they used to do back in the 80s and stuff, man. Feuds used to carry on for months. Now, it's like feuds will last a few weeks or a month, and then they're on to something else. But when you ain't got that much,
or they're forgotten about. Feuds get forgot about too. They just like, oops, we forgot about it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. Is they need to try to make them extend them out a little bit. I mean, dude, you got a 3-hour Raw every single week. Not counting SmackDown because nobody knows what SmackDown is. But you know, you got going to Raw. And you got 3 hours. How come you can't make these wrestler storylines spread out? How are you still doing this badly when you've got all the time in the world to go out and do this stuff? How are you facing it that badly when you can make stories and let their storylines build? That's what builds character. That's why nobody likes Sheamus, man. If Sheamus would cut out there and playing and like you said with Roman Reigns last week and Tater Tot and all this stuff. If they were just,
He's fucking boring.
Right, but the creative made him that way, man. Creative is not giving us a reason to really be emotionally invested in Sheamus.
Okay. If they gave Sheamus the best storylines and the best character in the world, I still think he'd be boring. It
is now because he is boring. I mean, if you start
like the vibe of Sheamus, the man Sheamus, the vibe he has. He's just not an interesting superstar. No matter what gimmick they give him.
They dropped the ball. They went too far. To me, the whole thing with me.
Wade Barrett's better than Sheamus, in my opinion.
Oh, God. Well, gimmicky-wise, yeah. I mean, the whole I got some bad news for you. That really took the cake, though. But I just, with me, it's just the way to go. But, yeah, man, a lot of stuff is, with Sheamus going out now. I mean, we've seen on Even Vince McMahon returned from the dead to come back on television. You know, Vince, boy, when it comes to ratings down, Vince is gonna make his way back on the TV, even if he don't even look like he can make it, man. Because I was watching Vince when he came out there last week with Roman Reigns. I'm like, God, Vince looks so old. I mean, he used to come out there and walking around and all chest bowed out, you know, his shoulders out to here.
He scared me, man. When he was going up the ring steps, he was stomping his feet real hard. I said, dude, you're gonna break some damn bones. Remember that Royal Rumble where Batista was the last man in there and they botched it, and Vince McMahon walked out there, marching out there, and he tore his quad or something. I forget what it was, but he tore that shit, twisted his ankle or some shit.
He was trying to get in the ring.
Yeah, they went over time and the ending was botched.
Oh, but Vince looked so small, man. Since he got that juice and he quit being on TV regular, man, and kind of let Triple H handle the reins, you could tell his age, man. That's how come Roman was like, man, time has passed you by. Man, you're a 70-year-old man. I'm like, and Vince, you heard Vince say, Vince was like, well, if I was back then, I would have done this, or there was a time when that. I'm like, see, when a wrestler or someone starts telling you there was a time when, that means your time is not now. You might as well just give it up.
Vince has been trying to stay off camera for a long time because he knows he's fading out. He wants the new guys to come over, but when you got Vince McMahon in the promo, you know the ratings have been pretty damn bad if you got to bring Vince back. Because Vince don't want to be on camera no more. He wants to let other people have the spotlight.
Right.
But he had to come back to get some ratings, man. And that's just sad.
Well, he went for those ratings because look what happened when Vince went out there, right? Vince gets out there in the middle of the ring. He ain't going anywhere. He wants to make Roman sweat. Then he comes out there, kicks Roman between the legs, one thing which nobody hardly does no more. Any heels don't create heel heat. So he does that. And then he turns around and then he's like, he's up there and talking to Roman and all the stuff, and Roman's putting him down, and he's like, there was a time this and that, and there was a time when that, and you respect. And he's gonna take his jacket and stuff off, like he's gonna fight him, man. Vince, and it's like Vince was on there, and then he gets Superman punched, and like the reactor Tyrone Magnus said, he killed Vince. Vince is laying over dead on the ground on the ring mat because of a Superman punch. Vince is willing to take punches and stuff. You know, dude, that the ratings are low then when he's on there. You know, it doesn't make sense to take them. I mean, that's how low in the toilet in ratings they are. It's when they go through that and go from a 2.9. Now you said, I think you told me earlier that it went back up to a 3.1, which is good. That means they're back where they were at, but it's not going to help if Vince has to go out there and be more on television for things like that to happen. You know, it just ain't going to help. And I just feel like
I'm gonna let you carry the conversation here at the start while I'm eating these good peanut butter honey roasted sandwiches here. Dude, I agree, man. I agree with everything you're saying, but tell some more, man. I like listening to you, bro. Everybody loves listening to Bill.
Oh, yeah.
Some more good shit.
No, what I'm just saying is, dude, is
If a man was stuck in a hamper.
And it's sad though, man, because Vince is, I mean, with wrestling in the state that it's in now, and you see Raw doing it, then you look over and
Bill, hold on, I'm sorry. You said Bill was one of our clients now, right?
Huh?
Bill's a client of Bill. Vince is a client now, right? Vince is a client. He's like Poppy, man. He's a client now. He's a client. Hey, come out there on a walker. Hey, Vince McMahon's gonna come on Raw like Stephen Hawkins. Stephen Hawkins, a scientist that talks with the robotic computer voice. That's gonna be Vince coming out there on a wheelchair. Hello, welcome to Monday Night Raw. No chance in hell. He gonna come out there like that. He gonna come out there in 10 years like that to help the next superstar.
It's bad, man. It's really bad because Vince has had he should be able to go back. Vince cannot always fix everything because he feels like he needs to be on TV to make the ratings up. That's sort of like Vince Russo mentioned on his podcast, and he talked to JR when he was talking to JR. he said he felt like when he went to WCW that he was the only talent that he felt like he could actually go get over with the people. That's why he made it himself to go out there and do it, because I said, what kind of selfishness can you have in thinking you're the only kind of talent when you've got to try to push and make these other people around you better off? But I mean, that's the state of
Vince was right, though. Vince equals ratings. I don't blame him for going out there, but it's his own fault for not building anybody. They're just putting a Band-Aid over a bad bruise or a bad cut. They're not they're not stitching the cut. They're just putting a Band-Aid over it. Vincent Man on Raw was a big Band-Aid, but internally you're not fixing anything.
Exactly.
But Vince is like, I got to go out there and boost the ratings. But it's his fault for not building anybody.
That's true.
You're right, too.
Yeah, but guess what though, man? Guess what? We do got a little good news coming though, man.
Hit me some good news, Bill Mackey.
You can't see me. You can't see me, John Cena. I know you're a big Cena mark and all, but John Cena's coming back. He is making his appearance back, and guess what he's going to do?
Dude, I do not like no John. Ladies and gentlemen, he's just fucking with me. I do not like Cena. I tried to like Cena in 2010. I said, you know what, Cena's all right. I'm going to be a Cena fanboy for 2010.
That's horrible.
I said, I'm going to try. I said, I'm a Cena fan now, everything. After 6 months, I got tired of Cena. I said, it's the same shit over and over. Here it is, 5 years later, exactly the same shit. Even if you try to like Cena, is my point, you'll get tired of him after 6 months. It's the same old shit. He's for newcomers. That's all. It's sad, dude. To do the same goddamn thing for 10 years. It's just sad.
I know. He needs to turn heel, man. I'm telling you.
I wish.
Get Bischoff riding, man. Bischoff would do it. Bischoff turned Hogan heel, and Hogan was the biggest face that ever was in wrestling, in my opinion.
Dude, Hogan was the heel of the 90s. He was the baby face of the 80s and the heel of the 90s.
Who can say that? Who else can really say that in wrestling? I mean, even then.
Hollywood Hogan was awesome, dude. I remember people down here, my neighbors, and my boy Justin, a different Justin, his mom would buy all she watched was WCW. And she would get all them WCW pay-per-views, which is fine for me because I watch both. And, man, we watched some WCW pay-per-views when they were good. And, man, his mama could not stand Hogan. I'm like, he's just playing a character. But, man, he did good, man. He come out there and cheat. And Hogan was the heel of the 90s. She couldn't stand Hogan. Or she said, here comes that goddamn NWO again. And I was like, man, I love this shit. I love you, best friend's mom, because you don't buy WWF pay-per-views, but you buy WCW, and that's just as good. Awesome sauce.
Well,
Arcade 97, Sting came back after sitting on his ass for all year. It was so cool, man. Him in that match with Hogan. Match weren't all that. It was just the build-up in the story.
Mm-hmm.
And Hogan came out there first, NWO Hogan. And then here comes that cool-ass Sting music, the orchestra and everything. Right. Here comes Sting, Crow Sting. And he ain't been in the ring in forever, and he has some kind of issues. Which side's he on? He's the savior. He's Jesus Christ for WCW. He's our savior. It was good, man. It was good stuff, bro.
That was a good story. I mean, they had some really good.
And your boy Solomon Monster's doing a top 10 WCW.
I'm shocked. Solomon Monster's the biggest WWE mark, and for him to pull off and go and do a WCW. I hadn't watched it. I hadn't listened to it. I'm going to download it to listen to it. I'm shocked. He is the biggest WWE mark there is.
He don't hate the South, man. I
didn't say hate the South. I said he's a WWE mark, man.
Yeah, but you said you're surprised by it. That's because you said you're surprised, but that's because WWE's the only game in town.
No, but even then, dude, he got like a WWE mark, man. He always has. Listen to him talk. Anybody say that?
Yeah, but he's fair though. Does he not tear down WWF when they do bad? He shits on them more than anybody.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's more of a WWE mark, dude. I mean, yeah, he puts. That's why, like you said, they're the only game in town. But come on, man. I mean, it just don't get any lack of respect, which that's fine. I respect that because WCW is old now. 15 years, they're buried. You know, I mean,
he's
that's
not going to make fun of it. See, the reason he's having this countdown is because he says he didn't really grow up a WCW fan, like you said. But that's the whole reason he's doing his countdown, because he likes WCW now. He's enjoying it, and he wants the top 10, the best matches.
Yeah, but how many of them you want to bet it's going to have WWE guys in them?
Probably all of them. But
exactly. That's what none of them. There was some good WCW matches before any of these WWE guys was in them.
Yeah, but somebody that's not they didn't grow up a WCW fan might not necessarily know that.
But he's supposed to. If he's a wrestling person like that with WWE, he's supposed to know that.
Well, you need to tweet him. You need to tweet Solid Monster, man. For $20, he'll plug our show, bro.
We got to do that, though, man.
I know, man. We get famous through Solid Monsters.
But you know, man, speaking of Hogan, dude, Hogan has been WWE is slowly letting him come back in, and you heard the Rocky or somebody mentioned the other day that they think Hogan needs to try to. Huh?
He said the Rocky.
Well, I meant the Rock.
I know, but that's funny though. The Rocky.
Yeah.
If you smell what the Rocky Mafia is cooking.
He knows that, man. He's talking about. He's talking about the Rock or somebody's talking about Hogan trying to make a comeback, dude. And I know by next year, first half of the year, Hogan will be back. Hogan will be back, and you know they'll let him slowly back in. You know what's going to happen. I mean, he ain't gonna sit there and.
He's been begging for a WrestleMania match the past 3 or 4 years. Please let me in a match, you know.
Well, I don't just see him wrestling.
No, he wants to though.
He needs to be just somebody on their side shows. He needs to be like somebody like that, dude. He does not need to be in the ring wrestling anymore. He's not Flair. How many people want to see Flair wrestle again? I don't.
You know what Flair looks like? He looks like a blown up condom. If you blow air in a condom, that's what he looks like. His face nowadays is like a blown up condom.
When he's not crying.
Well, dude, if you follow Hogan on Facebook, the past 3 years at WrestleMania season, he's always training and shit, talking about, man, I just want one more match against Cena at WrestleMania, brother. So he's plotting for another match, dude.
I hope not.
Not gonna give it. He can't pass a physical. But Wrestling Soup said that he asked Vince if he can have one more match at Mania and one last title run or a title run. And Vince laughed at that, but he said he'll think about it. Vince, what kind of fucking dream world does Hogan live in? Talking about he wants one last match or one last title run.
His dream world, dude. Not reality. That's just his dream world.
Couldn't you see that? New WWE champion of 2016, Hulk Hogan. God damn, that'd be so embarrassing.
Hogan, let's see. When's the last time Hogan had
2K17 video game? Couldn't you see Hogan on WWE 2K17 video game cover holding the WWE World Heavyweight Championship?
I couldn't see that.
And old people be like, Hogan is the champion to face the WWE in 2016? Can you see that shit? It'd be so funny, man. You know, that'd just be silly. He'd be on TNA video game cover when they can afford one. Anyway, go ahead.
TNA won't, man.
Bill the Booker.
TNA is not going to be able to do that. There's no way.
Did you ever play that TNA video game that came out a few years ago? I heard it sucked.
Yeah, I did. I actually had it. I actually had that.
I heard it was okay. I heard it was okay, to be fair.
No. Well, then you heard wrong. That was one of the most horrible.
I'm just being considerate. I'm being nice.
No, dude, then you heard wrong. Let me be up there. The gameplay was horrible. The graphics were horrible. Yeah. Everything about the thing was horrible.
Was it worse than a Sheamus promo?
It looked like the wrestlers were behind the green screen at the TNA and the TNA because the ring didn't even look like it even hardly moved, man. It looked like Street Fighter the movie game. You remember that from the mid-90s? Yeah,
Street Fighter?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it looked like,
That's what I'm saying, dude. It just, to me, it wasn't. It's not something you want to watch. I gave it away, I think. I gave it away. Is what I did.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get into WrestleMania predictions later, like who we think is gonna be in the main event. And this is just second guessing, but we're going to or just seeing what could happen. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, because that sounds very interesting. But we're going to talk about rumored WrestleMania matches and what's going to happen, who's going to win the Royal Rumble, things like that.
Exactly.
But it's all speculation, ladies and gentlemen. But a lot of times, me and Bill the Booker, we're right about wrestling because we've been watching it since we were little dinosaurs, watching the TV show Dinosaurs with the one that says, "Not the mama, not the mama." We go way back. We go way, Bam Bam Bigelow back, way back.
That's right, folks. We're going to try to come at you every week, give you opinions on the current state, WWE, or what's going on that particular week, or news that we hear. Maybe sometimes tidbits, maybe from other organizations if they happen to have anything going on at that time. But we're going to try to build up to that for you and try to give you a show each week, basically just wrestling center. Because if you're big wrestling fans, like we're wrestling fans, and Bullet B just told you that, we've been watching ever since we were running around in diapers. It was just a big thing to happen, and we decided to give you more of us, particularly centered on that, because I know throughout our hangouts we've talked wrestling from time to time. We've even given you prediction shows. So we kind of hope to get you back on there and give you a little bit more of TeamB within the coming year as 2016 approaches. Bullet B and I are looking to get in there and give you some more insight on our thoughts and whatnot. So we just look forward to come as it comes along, and we're going to try to get to you at least once a week. Our thoughts and whatnot with that particular week.
We've loved wrestling since we were kids. It's a non-biased show, and all kids should love their wrestling, man, I think.
Exactly.
Kids have so many options nowadays with Netflix, Hulu, more video games. We had games back then. Cell phones, tablet, so many options nowadays. But all kids should watch their wrestling on Monday nights. In my perfect dictator world, kids should be watching their wrestling. Because it's funny, because my baby brother, he don't watch wrestling that much. I'm like, dude, man, when I was your age, wrestling was my most favorite thing. But that's because he's got a laptop and YouTube and so many options. Whereas back in the day, we all watched wrestling because that was the cool thing to watch on TV Monday nights because there weren't nothing else to do. Right. And I'm glad I did because I love wrestling, man. I always love wrestling. Yeah. I'll go on YouTube. I want to get the WWE Network back sometime just so I can watch some old matches, man, because YouTube's cutting down. I can't find full matches anymore. I want to check out that Bret Hart Bob Backlund match, for example, the I Quit match. It's been so long, dude. It's just Yokozuna's title run. That was some good stuff. I was a WWE fan growing up, but I didn't know any better. But I really enjoyed it, and I like WCW as well. I didn't start watching WCW until about '93, but I watched it before Hogan was there, brother. Yeah, I just love wrestling, man. That feud Hogan had with Big Man Vader, that was a good feud, man, because you know what Vader was? He was a believable heel. That's what the fuck he was. When he came to WWF, they shit on Vader, man. I like Jim Cornette, but he didn't feel like a main eventer. He felt like a joke. When he was in WCW, with that awesome theme music, he'd come out there with that thing on his head. Not his mask, but he had some other thing on his head. And that was a heel. You like, this man's scary. He's going to fuck somebody up.
Jim Cornette.
Yeah, Jim Cornette was Vader's manager in WWF. Remember when they attacked Gorilla Monsoon? He was part of Cornette's faction because Cornette had the British Bulldog, Owen Hart, King of Hearts, and they had Vader. They all were teamed up together. That's why I didn't like Vader in WWF. He should have been by himself or him and Cornette by themselves. And he lost to Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam. Come on, dude. It just wasn't the same Vader that was fucking up Hulk Hogan, man.
That's WWE for you, buddy. That shit all over
He didn't fit in, man. It was like a Goldberg thing. It just didn't fit in. But Goldberg did better in WWE than Vader. But, yeah, man, all them classics,
Well, and that's why I said, dude, you grew up watching WWE. I grew up WCW. It's always good to get these perspectives. And when we share our thoughts to our people.
I was about to say that, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good dynamic. I'm Paul Heyman on commentary. He's JR. Like when JR and Paul Heyman did their commentary, you just ain't going to get no bad accent out of me. I ain't going to talk like Vince Russo and say, the WWE, or however he says it, but I can't do it.
Oh, it's a slobber knocker.
All right, that's not slobber knocker, man, right there. JR, I love JR. He's my favorite WWE podcaster type guy. Like, when it comes to Austin, JR, Taz, JR is my favorite. He does the best podcast out of all of them clowns as far as pro WWE stuff goes.
Yeah.
Non-WWE stuff, I love, like Wrestling Soup and DTKC, you know, Wrestling Observer with Dave Meltzer. I highly recommend that for any wrestling fans out there. It's some good stuff. Wrestling Observer give you some good shit. NoDQ.com with Aaron Rift. Check them guys out. They got an awesome website. It's just like Wrestling Edge, and you get daily videos on their YouTube.
That's right. All you have to do is Twitter at Aaron Rift, at NoDT, NoDT, and they will basically a lot of times he's good because I've sent a question in there, and while he is basically answering my question, so you know these sites are really good. You're not intermingling with that whole wrestling dynamic, that whole wrestling community. It's not just one that, you know, very few people, because wrestling has evolved over time. And it's like you said, you grow up and the kids these days, but it's it's not presenting itself out that is giving people the problem. See, if the creative was more enticing, that's how come you saw that boom back in the 90s with the Monday Night Wars, because it was interesting. It drew people in, even new fans. But you look today with WWE being the only one on the block, the quality itself isn't delivering. Neither is the competition, so it's kind of watered down, and that's why.
Amen, brother. Amen. Amen, brother. Brother Bill. Oh, my brother, testify.
That's just all it is. You know this, dude.
Solid Monster said WWE has yet to recover from the Monday Night Wars, and he's so right. Because when the war stopped, the ratings on Raw haven't been the same. They are still recovering from the Monday Night Wars. And I agree with that.
Exactly. And that's just the way I feel about it, man. It's got to, you know, you've got to basically be able to go forward and enjoy wrestling, but you get so fed up with it, man. I mean, it makes guys like you and me that have been live for wrestling watchers, it makes guys like you and I.
Well, it's like a bad marriage. Me and wrestling have a marriage. You know, you're going to have the good months and the bad months with wrestling, but you stick with it. I always watch wrestling. Now, there's been a few. I haven't missed. I used to take pride in the fact that I haven't missed a Raw episode since 1993. But this year, I got so fed up with WWE, I actually did not watch Raw a few weeks. I just couldn't stand it, man. It was painful and brutal to watch. But like Bill said, you know, we're plugging all these great wrestling websites and podcasters and shit. But most importantly, guys, you're at the right place right here at TeamB Presents. We're going to talk about this week in WWE and all related areas. If something pops up in TNA or Ring of Honor, we'll talk about it.
Exactly.
We're just using WWE because it's a hot hashtag, you know what I'm saying? So this week in the world of wrestling entertainment, basically, and everything related. So anyway, Bill, give us some good ass TNA news, man.
Dude,
they're going to TV Guide. Hey, man.
If you're looking for your.
Hold on, Bill. I don't mean to cut you off, Bill, but I got a funny joke here. Now on Pop TV Guide. You know when they're playing a movie on TV Guide, it shows the TV Guide right under it. Half the screen is the guide.
Yeah.
That's on all their shows, ain't it? So
no, just the old channel. The HD Pop TV doesn't have the guide under it. That's just the old basic.
Oh, okay. It does at Crumma's house. That's why I was gonna say, like,
that's
Crumma's house. I was laughing because I was watching Pop TV the other night at work, and I was like, oh, and they had a TV guide right in the middle of the screen over the movie. I said, oh, shit, TNA's going to be on this channel. They're going to have the guide right under. That's so funny. TNA's going to show up on YouTube. People going to upload on YouTube. It's going to have half of it, the TV guide, half the screen. I said, well, at least it's a network, and at least people have the network. That's what I was thinking.
Exactly, and you're right there, man. TNA has, and Mike, I don't know if we talked about our last video since it's been a while, but for those who you have been living under a rock, TNA has basically signed a deal beginning. Well, they're going to go earlier than expected, but they've signed a deal to go over to Pop TV, which is AKA the old TV Guide channel, and it's supposed to have 30 million more homes to go out in their homes rather than Destination America. Now, Destination America has taken away their time slots for the last few and put them from 9 o'clock until 11 o'clock. So TNA has counteracted that, where they're going to do a best of 2015, but they're going to go ahead a week ahead of time and put it on put it on Pop TV and do it ahead of time rather than wait until the 6th or 7th, whenever they're going to do it. But you're right, dude. That when you're watching that regular channel, it makes it very hard to see the screen and what's going on. But TNA, Dixie Carter's happy with it. She seems to think that they're going to basically do something with it, and that's true. But it really gets that way, man.
I was like, at least they got TV, man. At least they got a fucking.
And that's it, and their final rating. Here's their final rating to you. I will give it to you. Their final rating as of 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Their final show drew 155,000 people at that.
Man, I need more YouTube views than that shit.
That is down. It said that is down 42% from last week when they were at 269,000 at the 9 o'clock slot. They sabotaged TNA's ratings by putting them off at 11 o'clock rather than 9 o'clock. But they claim that they're going in more of they're going to become a paranormal activity channel. So they're going to want wrestling on there. So, but the replay only drew 68,000 people. So as you see, it just went down. But there's, other than that happening, Kurt Angle retired. Basically, basically it was, he said, look, I need some time away. I need to take time. He's not signed with WWE. He's not going to next time. He's
going to have his retirement month in Europe, I believe, or in Norway. His last match in UK. But
he said he wasn't closed. He said that he wasn't open. He wasn't. He said he wasn't open not to going back. But as of right now, he's just going to take some time away. And
WWE gives him a deal. He'd be all over it though.
He would, but they don't want him back. They don't want him back. They said basically his physical health and what they want. And he said he wouldn't go to NXT. He said, I don't want no part of NXT, which is probably what they would want him to do instead of wrestling. Want him to go to NXT and train. He's like,
that's degrading. Unless he's going to be a trainer off camera. But I watched the interview with Kurt Angle on Wrestle Talk TV, another good wrestling channel, guys, but they're based out of the UK. And they were talking about that tour he's going to have in the UK, and they were asking him questions. And he said he wanted to take a year away from wrestling to focus on his acting career and little projects like that, MMA, announcer, commentary, shit like that. But he said if WWE calls him, he'll be all over it. And I wish they would, man, because he could have I'd love to see him and Seth Rollins have a match. Or he said he was feeling good. He said he could do all the moves that he did when he was 32, except for the moonsault off a ladder, off a cage. I mean, he'll do everything else though. But Kurt's in good shape, man. And he want to come back and have a feud with Triple H or something. That'd be awesome. I wouldn't want to see that too much, but I don't want him to come back for a gimmick match like with Rusev or something. I want to get in there with some fucking technicians. You know, him and Triple H, they could always just tear it down or whatever the case.
I enjoyed that.
KO, Kurt Angle, be a good match, man. I like to see KO put him in that pop-up powerbomb and he try to reverse it into an ankle lock, man. That's why I like DDP's Diamond Cutter better than the RKO. Because if you remember, DDP, he'd do the Diamond Cutter, not out of nowhere, but he will fucking do reversals. Somebody have him up for a power slam, he'll get out of it, twist him, and drop. He was creative with it. Whereas Randy Orton, he just hits it out of nowhere. He'll do flash sale. He'll do like that. Then do the RKO, which was fine. He'll do it midair, but I like the way DDP did it because they'd have him up gonna scoop him up and slam him, and DDP would just reverse it into a Diamond Cutter. That was cool the way he did it.
Right. I
It
agree.
happened in DDT. Somebody had DDP in the DDT. He'll break the arm, flip around, poof, just like that.
Yeah.
I like his style of the diamond cutter more so than the RKO, but that's just my opinion. You know,
Well,
WWE's RKO feels more choreographed and staged,
right.
set up. You know, like it's got to be set up first. Also, shit.
That's true.
DDP would do it as a reversal. He would do the diamond cutter as a reversal move.
Right. Yeah.
Follow just as a reversal.
Right.
And I plug DDP because of DDP yoga. Bang! That shit works. I'm done, bro. You carry it.
No, dude. I agree with you, man. I totally agree with you 100%. You know, when it comes to
WWE sucks. WCW Resurrection coming. WCW #1. WWF sucks.
And well, I tell you, man, it's amazing to me with situations. But like we were talking about Hogan, man, Hogan has not had the title since 2002. That was his last title, and that was a tag team title, man.
I like that run. That run Hogan had in 2002, the nostalgic run. I like that run. It was pretty good. He was on SmackDown, and Undertaker tied him up and drug him down the hallway on the motorcycle. It was so funny, man. I'm scratching my dick on camera. Anyway, it was funny, man. Undertaker's pulling Hogan on a motorcycle. Remember that shit?
Yeah, that was so funny. I remember that. Yeah, he was like, it was funny, dude, because it was like he was like, because he was happy because he was waiting around. I can't remember who it was. He was waiting on, but he said it was like, well, he hung around and helped me out. I'm gonna hang around here and watch him. And then Undertaker comes behind him and gets him from behind, and he takes his because Hogan's on his side motorcycle, and then Undertaker straps him to his motorcycle, and drags him on Hogan's, all going, oh, and it was so funny, dude. I'll tell you, but I mean that's Hogan for you, dude. But TNA, TNA really, dude, there's not a whole lot of news. I mean, we got to see at the first year what they're going to do. But here's the thing with TNA. I'll give you my thoughts on it real quick. TNA
you said TNA drew 140,000 people in the rating?
55,000 their last rating.
Man, go ahead now. I'm sorry.
No, just think, dude, there are more people that live in Charlotte than actually watch the last TNA.
Man, I'd be embarrassed if I was TNA putting on a pay-per-view knowing nobody's going to buy it. I watched Bound for Glory with Kurt Angle and Eric Young. It was on YouTube. And, man, it was just it wasn't a bad match. Had a good story. But, man, it's just fucking sad to watch because they had the lights lowered and, like, kind of hide the fact that nobody was there. It's sad to see my boy Kurt Angle in a place like that. It was sad. It looked lower produced than ECW. But, man, Christy Hemme, dude, sure, wait. God, that was so – I would stalk Christy Hemme, too, man. That is a fine firecracker right there, boy. I would eat her kid. Man,
that's the only thing TNA had for them is the knockouts. That's just it.
Oh, I agree, bro.
I just looked at this, dude.
Gail Kim and Christy Hemme making out in the locker room. Ooh, I paid to see that, buddy. Gail Kim and Christy Hemme, that's called Asian. That made my brains explode right there, boy.
I imagine so.
Christy Hemme is the finest white woman to me, and then you got Gail Kim, the finest Asian to me. And you just see them two having a baby together. Oh man, that'd be something. Having a baby. Oh, Gail Kim like, let me kiss your stomach. It's getting fat, and she be kissing her stomach, and then Christy Hemme start fingering Gail Kim, and oh man, this shit's turning into the XWF. Let me stop. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I have these called Asian fantasies, It's just when I think about Christy Hemme, man. God, no, that's a fine piece of ass. And what about Mickie James? When Mickie James had that feud with Trish Stratus and they were kissing and shit. And remember when Mickie James grabbed Trish Stratus' pussy and she licked her fingers at WrestleMania? They cut that shit out, though, but I still got the pay-per-view recorded where she did that. I know you like some Mickie James, bro.
Yeah. Mickie James is really, really hot. I like Mickie James.
You like that jelly? You like some Mickie James jelly now?
Oh yeah.
I used to like Sasha present day, but man, I heard she's engaged now, so she just ain't no good, man. For waxing your carrot, no good at all. It feels like, what the fuck is happening?
No, no.
Are you reading something?
Huh?
What you doing? Reading something?
No, I was waiting on you to get done. I was going to read this here.
Oh, I'm done. I'm done, bro. I'll mute myself. I'm sorry, man. I ain't trying to cut you off or anything.
No. My point was
Christy Hemme and Gail Kim.
Huh?
Did what? I said Christy Hemme and Gail Kim. It fucks my head up when I discussed that. I'm sorry. I just thought about Christy in that match. I'm sorry. So you were saying TNA drew 150,000 people.
No, what I was saying was that the amount of people, and I was looking, what I did was look in our state, and I looked at our populations here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cities, and these are big cities that have more people that actually watch. Fayetteville, North Carolina, has, as of 2010, had 200,000 people. That means there's more people that live in Fayetteville than people that actually watch TNA across the country. That tells you ratings for them are really, really bad, though. But that's maybe this
delusional Dixie Carter. Her name makes perfect sense when they call her delusional Dixie Carter.
She thinks she can do it, man. She thinks she can. I mean, I'll give her credit. She ain't shot it and killed it yet. She still thinks without a shadow of a doubt they're going to pull out of it. And if they get the right writing in there, man, they need to go ahead and do something with it, man, because I get tired of watching just WWE. I'd love to watch TNA for them to have a good product, but they don't do that. They go and shit on it, and TNA does stupid shit that nobody even cares about.
I don't know, man. If TNA got cool like Lucha Underground and had these badass matches and story, I don't know if that'll help it because of marketing. Nobody knows about TNA. Like when they asked RVD where he's been at, he's like, motherfucker, I've been on Spike TV every week. It's that exposure. They need to do something with their exposure. Well, but I think TNA could be a good product. Like Bound for Glory I was talking about, that was a decent match and shit like that. It's just nobody knows about it. If a bear shits in the woods and nobody sees it or smells it, did it happen? I think you used that analogy one time. It's more like the tree that fell in the forest and nobody hears it. Did it really happen? That's TNA. It's a tree falling in the forest, but nobody hears it. I mean, I don't know, man. It would help. Good stories, matches would definitely help it.
Well, that's why people aren't watching this shit. Nobody cares. And when you're changing channels every year and you're on a different channel, how are you building any stability there whatsoever? Anybody ask anybody, what channels Raw come on?
USA, because we're conditioned. It's been that for 20 years.
Exactly. Other than when they were on Spike, but they went right back to USA. Everybody knows that. What channel was SmackDown on?
Sci-Fi next month. But TNA, man, it's just a tough. It ain't just them. I think it's just any wrestling company in 2015-16 is going to have a tough time with exposure and getting noticed. It's just a tough market nowadays with so many channels. So much content, so many good dramas on TV, Netflix, Hulu. There's so much out there. It's just a tough market in general. It's a tough place to start your own business, for one thing.
Yeah.
It's hard to get my YouTube channel out and about. This stuff's hard. And I think if it was in the 1990s, TNA would probably be very successful, or more so than now. It's just a tough market. Well, like I was saying earlier, my brother, he don't even watch wrestling that much. Whereas when I was his age, that's all I watched was fucking wrestling, dude. I was recording it with VH. I loved my wrestling.
But it was interesting, though.
That's true. That's true. But if they make it interesting, that would definitely help. Yeah. I just still think it's a tough market out there for wrestling, for people to watch.
I get that. I get that, and I would accept that. It's just I feel like too is people like if wrestling stops, then you're not going to have your Don Tonys, you're not going to have your Kevin Castles, you're not going to have your Joey Numbers and Missionary Thomas.
When Raw's doing good, when Raw's doing really, really good, their highest ratings nowadays are like 3.5. Back in the day, it was a 9.0. See,
Mm-hmm.
the interest ain't there like it used to be because there's more entertaining stuff out there.
And but shit.
But people love wrestling. I'm just saying it's just tough to get over.
But Solomon said the other day, he said, if you put a good product, people will watch.
That's true. That's true.
You know, that's the whole point. If you put a good product, people watch. TNA, WWE has not had any competition. TNA ain't giving it to them. Ring of Honor is just a gleam in the eye. I mean,
that's the thing. It's so demanding. You know, it's a tough market, and you got to work really hard to make a good storyline to make people care. Okay, in other words, the fans are harder to please in general nowadays. It was a lot better when we were kids, but it wasn't that hard to please us back then either. But it was better anyway. But I'm just saying fans are more picky nowadays, and it's going to be harder to please them, good show or not. It's just going to be hard to – okay, you give somebody a good show, what are they going to do next week? That's my concern with Monday Night Raw. They were doing so bad. They had to bring Vince McMahon out there to boost the ratings, and they did. But what are they going to do tonight? They got to capitalize on it. How are they going to capitalize on it? Midnight Bill? Midnight Bill's a good name.
There's no way they can, man. It's all about stability and continuity. Yeah. They have neither one. They have one show that will work. They have one show that works, and then they have 3 shit shows. That's WWE. I completely
agree with you. What they should do, they should take SmackDown off the air and replace it with NXT. Let NXT take SmackDown's spot. They're not going to do that because Triple H said he wants to keep NXT on the WWE network.
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either. I like it on network to give to give people a reason to subscribe to the WWE network, basically. And SmackDown, I don't want to see it go really. I just think they could do more with it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, dude, that's because again, WWE is a dictatorship of their own wrestling. Now you look at it, SmackDown itself could be better. Now I'm reading. Here's what I've been reading too. You know, next month, folks. You know, again, you know, this shouldn't be old, shouldn't be new news to you, but WWE SmackDown is going to go be premiering on USA Network as well as WWE Raw. So you're going to have wrestling on 2 nights on the same channel, which I think is okay. And they're talking about we got to load these superstars up for the next few shows, and like Bullet B and I have talked about, they may very well do that. But then what after that? Are you going to keep pushing storylines that carry? You've got to want to make Raw. You're going to want to make SmackDown just as important as Raw, and the only way to do that is carry these storylines, make SmackDown feel as important to want to watch. Because you let it. Here's the problem with WWE: they want stuff to go in the shitter, so they let it go. But then the problem is once you do that, it hurts them later on when they're trying to come to USA, because people are going to be like, SmackDown, what's SmackDown? You know, what is that? Because they've buried it, and like you've said before, if it happens on SmackDown, it didn't happen. Yeah. So that's just what they need to do is they need to elevate it up, make it seem like Raw 2, not SmackDown 1, but Raw 2. And have it make it, because they used to do that. Back in the old days, you saw The Rock on SmackDown. You saw Triple H on SmackDown. You seen Shawn Michaels on SmackDown. But you seen these guys on there because it was an important show. But now they just shit on it and let it go down. Why do you think none of these wrestling shows even give a SmackDown review? Solid Monster could do it because he's on Sundays, but he don't do it.
They do their show simultaneously with SmackDown, and missionary on SmackDown. Joey Black, not a damn thing.
Well, that's just it, because they could go on their shitbox and do a preview of it or talk about it a little bit.
But SmackDown, when it moves to Sci-Fi Channel, it's going to be really, really good. That's going to USA. I mean, that's what I meant. Okay. I misspoke, ladies and gentlemen. Verbal typo. When SmackDown moves to USA in January, it's going to be really, really, really good for about 2 weeks. Right. And then they're just going to drop the ball with it like they always do. People going to say, it's the new SmackDown. Everything's changed for the better. 2 weeks later, back to where it was. Sheamus, Roman Reigns, no DQ.
I know, man.
Bringing over a commentator from UFC or MMA. Did you hear about that? Or he might have been from boxing.
Yeah. The new guy that's taking over, he's going to be the lead for SmackDown, which they need that because Michael Cole don't need to do both shows. You know?
I'm so sick of Michael Cole, I'm throw up.
Yeah, because he's been exposed too much. That always happens. But I did want to say this to you. When we were talking about Cena, I didn't get too much into it because we went on something else. But Cena is supposed to come back and debut against this coming week up against Del Rio for the title.
I'm sorry, Bill. I'm sorry I ain't no good at this, Bill. Commentary with you, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry I golf out on a tantrum about something else like Don Tony. I start talking about something else, man.
No, I'm just saying I was mentioning. I'm saying that John Cena
sucks.
You know, and Del Rio, man, you know what's going to happen there? They're going to give Cena
I love Del Rio, man, but WWE fucked him up.
Yeah, that's true.
Del Rio's got the best body in WWE as far as like staying fit and all that stuff. His stomach, he's got his stomach so flat, it's going inside of his body. His stomach. It looks like Wild Bill punched Del Rio right in the gut and his stomach sinking inwards. Del Rio's in the best shape he's ever been in, man. The only reason I say that is because I wish I had a body just like Del Rio, man. Because he's ripped. He's cut up, man. He's almost got that Rocky IV body, man. He turned into Rocky IV.
I know Rocky's something else now.
Man, he's so still in WWE, man. Because they could do so much with Alberto El Patron because he was so good in Lucha Underground and cool, a badass. He looks like a boss. Del Rio is a boss.
Yeah.
That motherfucker is flat as my ex-girlfriend's tit every time he comes out there in WWE cartoon world. It sucks, dude.
Right. I agree with you, man. I totally do.
The ball was hit Wade. Okay. I don't know if you like Wade Barrett or not, but he's got all the tools, dude. He can talk. He's got the body. He's tall enough. Mm-hmm. And there's just nothing there, dude. They should just release him. Just fucking
hurt. He gets hurt so much. And he gets hurt so much, and he don't give you a chance to really pull or cheer or boo him because he gets hurt right by the time you get invested in watching him.
So was John Cena, he's not going to be a tribute to the troops, right?
I don't think so. Well, he's coming back this weekend, but I don't know if he filmed the tribute with the troops or not.
I heard that he didn't. I heard it was already filmed and he wasn't there. I just didn't know for sure. Rumor is he's not there. So what you think Cena's going to do when he comes back? Feud with Del Rio for the IC title at the Rumble or something?
Yeah, what I think is going to happen is this. He's going to come back and he's going to pick up that feud because, you know, he lost the U.S. title before he left. He dropped it to him. Very first match of the pay-per-view. He got hot on his flight with Nikki and left. Okay? But when he comes back, Del Rio was just a belt holder. He just kept the belt. How many matches did you see Del Rio defending that U.S. title really against while Cena was out? Legitimate feuds that he had for that title.
That's what pisses me off because he's better than that, man. He looks like a fucking champion. He's better than that.
That's WWE.
Up there were okay. My favorite heels are like Seth Rollins, KO, Alberto Del Rio, because but they just ain't do nothing with him, man. Because I like this Alberto Del Rio better than the one from 2011 when he was feuding with CM Punk. Only because he's more on the serious side. Like with Zeb Coulter, he said, "I don't need you anymore." He acts like he wants to go out there and beat somebody's ass. Right. They just don't. It's my kind of guy. But they don't capitalize on it. And it's
giving in the ball, dude.
I don't get. Okay, I'll give you another example, man. Curtis Axel, dude. When Curtis Axel came out there with Paul Heyman at first, and Paul Heyman was like, "This is the son of Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig." That was awesome. But then WWE dropped the ball. and they put him. Then they put him with Ryback, and then they put him with Sandow. But that first month, Curtis Axel, he feuded with John Cena on Raw. Man, I said, this boy's got it. I said, I love this guy because Mr. Perfect was one of my favorite wrestlers of the night. He is my favorite, one of my favorite, top three. Well, I don't know about top, maybe top five. But
right.
That was just so disappointing, man. It's like, and he's so damaged now they can't do nothing with him. And the Axomania stuff, it was funny and sad. I'm like, well, at least he's got something. At least he's on TV. And then Hogan had to say something inappropriate, and then there's bye-bye to Axel. And that's a shame. I think they got something with Del Rio. They had something with Curtis Axel. I don't know what the fuck. I wish there was another company, like you were saying earlier, like a WCW2 or a TNA step up. I'd love to see Alberto, Curtis Axel, Damian Sandow, these guys that get treated like shit when you know they got talent. I'd love to see them go to a TNA if it was good. And let them be the top fucking star. You know what I'm saying?
But it all boils down to, Bud, like I told you, I'm talking about the other day, it boils down to having somebody on top of the wrestling pyramid that knows about wrestling and how to run like Vince does.
Yeah, but back in the day, they had several B superstars. Mick Foley, he was never a superstar, but you had a bunch of number twos back in the day. I'm just saying Alberto, Curtis Axel, Cesaro, people like that would have been strong number twos back in the day, having some hot feuds with some people or whatever. They'd never be the top guy, but they'd be strong number twos all the way around.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
He had the high upper card. Yeah.
It seems like Alberto would be in that Randy Orton bubble or Cesaro bubble, because Randy Orton's the only guy, or one of the only guys, over the past 10 years that's got to that level. Not Cena level, but he's just a strong number two.
Yeah.
Not anymore. I don't consider Orton like number two anymore as far as popularity, but like, you remember back in 2010 when Orton was feuding with the McMahons and he first shaved his head and he was punk kicking everybody where it used to be, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Orton was a top heel, and people gave a fuck because he was a strong number two, and he was the closest one to get to Cena's popularity. Him and Batista, and I thought Alberto, Cesaro, people like that would go, at least be on Orton's level, a strong number two like Mr. Orton. You know what I'm saying? I just thought they would go that route, but it ain't that, dude. So Alberto is somebody you would want to see on main event.
Right.
Main event or superstars.
I know.
Something. I seen Del Rio washing my car, man. What the fuck? WWE so racist. They used to have the Mexicools come out there on fucking lawnmower.
I know, man. I remember that. That was horrible, dude.
Alberto, man, he's good, man. He reminds me like of he could be like the Mexican James Bond or something. The way he dresses and carry himself and how he's ruthless in the ring. I can't stand WWE, man, because they got something. They got a strong villain right there.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what to do with Wade Barrett, man.
I know.
I got some turn Wade Barrett babyface, and he come out there and say, "I got some good news for you." Or here's something you'll agree with. DDP, when he came to WWF, stalking Taker's wife. Man, that was the dumbest shit I ever seen. They had a top superstar with Diamond Dallas Page. And what they do, they throw it in the toilet. Diamond Dallas Page, if I'm not mistaken, was in a tag team match with Karl Malone and Jay Leno. Biggest pay-per-view of the year.
I agree.
People like DDP, man. DDP was a top superstar, like Macho Man type character, just up there. Oh, let's put him with Undertaker. Let's say he's stalking his wife, even though everybody knows he's married to sweet ass Kimberly. You know, I'm done ranting, man. I'm sorry, man, but it just pisses me off sometimes what they could do with some of these guys, characters.
I get it. I understand that, dude.
The reason DDP failed was because even DDP said it himself, ladies and gentlemen. Check out the Sam Roberts podcast. DDP and Scott Hall was on there this past week. Guess what? Sam Roberts did not ask DDP or Razor Ramon about what happened to Jake. You remember Jake the Snake about a week and a half ago uploaded a video to Twitter where he was drunk as shit?
Yeah.
I was telling you about it. Damn. And just the other day, DDP and Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, was on Sam Roberts' podcast. This was filmed like Tuesday. And Sam Roberts did not ask that fucking question. Like, what happened to Jake last week, man? You know why? Because, this is my opinion, speculation. When they first got on the air, DDP said, hey, bro. Hey, Sam. Hey, bro. Do not mention Jake the Snake in this thing. Do not mention him. Unless we're talking about a documentary, but do not mention him. Mention him. That's what it was. Because Sam Roberts had to know about that shit. Did not ask him about it, man. That's why I watched it.
Oh, I understand that.
I thought Sam would be like, hey, man, what happened to what happened to Jake last week, man? That motherfucker was drunk as a motherfucker, pulling his teeth out, his gums out. Somebody going to give Bray Wyatt a rim job. He's so fucked up out of his mind.
I know that. That was so horrible, dude. I was like, God, Jake, what have you got?
Did you see that video, or you just heard about it?
Yeah, I seen it. I watched it a few times. He wakes up.
In an interview a few days after that on Sam Roberts, man, that pussy Sam Roberts didn't even ask him about it, man. Like, what the fuck? You little top pet and gill motherfucker, why didn't you ask him about it?
Well, dude, it's horrible. I seen that. I didn't think it was too cool at all, you know. I really didn't. But I mean, that's there's some will attack and some will, but then you have some won't. So ain't much really can do.
So you said Cena's gonna come back this weekend, so he'll probably be on Raw next week, huh?
Yeah, it's in the Barclays Center, I believe.
Yeah,
is where they're going to be at. So yeah, you know he's going to be back there. You know, I'm like, oh great. Now we'll have more promos with Cena. I'm just so sick of seeing Cena, dude. And I mean, he ain't even been on
that first night. And be like Alberto Del Rio. You get a big ass pop on Raw next week. Next week it'll go flat, like Dudley Boys. You know, that ain't the Dudley Boys' fault, man. You can tell Bubba Ray's getting tired of jobbing out to these tag teams because he be in the ring cussing and shit a lot. You can tell he's frustrated.
Yeah,
having the job out to everybody because they ain't won a match in a minute that I know of. I think they won Monday, but I'm not sure. But Bubba Ray, he put one of them Wyatt family members in a suplex. He said, "Come on, you son of a bitch!" You know, I said, Bubba Ray's frustrating because he's losing all the time now. He don't even come out there with his. You remember, Bubba Ray don't even come out there with the glasses no more with the duct tape on it or the Scotch tape. You notice that past couple weeks he didn't do it. Either he said fuck this shit, or they told him not to do it, make him more serious. I don't like the glasses with the tape. I think that's stupid.
Yeah, I don't either because
even like Bully Ray, man.
That's what they said in his Bully Ray's attitude on WWE.
I wish I could be Bill the Booker one week because I would have Kevin Owens versus Bully Ray. Bully versus Bully, man. That'd be awesome. Cena's referee saying, "Hey man, bullying is not cool. Hey man, bullying is not cool." You know? Or Kevin, no. Fucking beat up, have Bully Ray turn on Devon and start a new tag team with Kevin Owens called the Bullies. That'd be sweet right there. The Bullies, Kevin Owens and Bully Ray. That'd be an awesome tag team, bro.
Yeah, but you know Kevin Owens, dude. The only problem with that is Kevin Owens don't like being in a tag team at all.
Yeah, that's true.
He always walks out all the time. Bully Ray to me is better than Bubba Ray is with the Dudley Boys because in TNA, they gave him that attitude. You know, he had that cockiness and that badass attitude.
That's who he is in real life, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
According to Don Tony.
Hey, you know Don Tony.
He bitched out Don Tony.
Yeah, Don Tony's like, personally, I don't do this, but I always give him credit where credit's due, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, he just mad because he got bitched out. So who's your favorite new generation wrestler? Kevin Owens, Cesaro?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite?
Kevin Owens.
Who's your top five? Who's your top three in WWE right now?
Top three?
Like favorite
wrestlers
right now. Who's your favorite current day wrestlers in WWE?
Oh, current day.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, no. I do like Owens first. Second, I would say maybe Randy Orton.
Yeah.
As my second guy.
That's a good one.
And another guy. Damn, this is difficult.
It's fun. I asked you something to make you think, man. And you can hit me with the same question if you want to.
Well, it's just so difficult because I'm
nobody on there. That's why.
Huh?
I said that's because there's nobody on Raw. It's like when Don Tony asked Kev a bunch of random questions. You remember that? Hey, Kev, what you think about this article right here? And Kevin be like, well, I don't know. I have to get back to you on that. Well, dude, you ain't got to answer if you don't want to. Just
no, I don't mind.
Okay.
I know I like Owens.
It doesn't have to be in a specific order. Just name 3 to 5 wrestlers that you really enjoy right now. It doesn't mean first, second place, or nothing like that. Just 5.
Like I said, I had Owens already, and no. See, now the ones I like, I used to like CM Punk when CM Punk was wrestling. CM Punk ain't wrestling no more, so he don't qualify. I like the New Day. I have to say them as a group because I like New Day. I think New Day is pretty cool.
That's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, that's a good one. Yes, sir.
And I would say,
Well, NXT Diva, Sasha Banks.
Maybe Dean Ambrose.
There you go. Okay.
So I'll say Ambrose, Owens, and the New Day is my top 3.
There you go.
And I mean, I like them all. You know, Ambrose because he's crazy acting when they let him be. New Day because he's funny.
You ain't mad at me for asking that?
No, because I was trying to think. I couldn't remember.
I just thought that
everybody's either hurt or the ones I like left or no longer wrestling. I'm not really up much on these newer guys like Neville and them. I'm not too much up on them. I do like Owens, however.
Neville sucks. Yeah.
I do like Owens, however, and I do like the New Day and Randy Orton.
Yeah.
And him. So those would be the ones I'd choose.
Well,
mine.
Well, I listen to like Don Tony and shit and Kevin Cap. I love when they ask questions like that to each other because it gets them talking and thinking. And I just thought that'd be a good swerve for the show or a good talk for the show. We could do this in the future too, ladies and gentlemen. We can come on here and talk about like we'll do this. We discussed it beforehand, some ideas, but like we can name our top 10 matches of the year, or 10 greatest wrestlers, or something like that. We think of something like that. Top 5 Starcades, in your opinion. And I'll do like top 5 WrestleManias, in my opinion. Number 1 would be WrestleMania X7 17 is my favorite. You know, just something about it. Actually, well, yeah, that's true. Number 2 would have to be WrestleMania 27 because I was there 10 years after the epic 17 WrestleMania. I have to, man, because I was there and I enjoyed it, dude. It wasn't a bad WrestleMania. It was just a good pay-per-view. It just wasn't a WrestleMania.
Right.
Everybody was there, man. People forget that was Edge's last match. I saw Edge's last match, man. People forget.
Well, that's a good thing when you get to see episodes, man. That's why I said you and I, we get a chance to get out some next year.
Oh, dude, we're going to blast, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a TeamB episode, and in between the episode, we're going to have footage from a wrestling event that we might go to. We'll throw it in, like TeamB presents This Week in Wrestling. Be a 30-minute show of us talking. Then the second half of the show will be clips from a wrestling event we went to. I'm just saying if we get to go.
Yeah, also, we are. We just got to plan it, man. And
it'll tie in good, man. We got a book and a notepad and a pen here. But like, yeah, man, I'm taking my notes right now, getting ready to go to Raw so I can report it to you guys.
Well, that sounds good to me, dude. We definitely could do it. We're going to put some stuff on there. But it's always good to throw in, things like that to kind of get you thinking and whatnot with the show. So that'll definitely, like you said, that'll be more to come.
My top 3 in WWE, would be Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens. That's fucking tie to me because I like Seth because I like the way he sells in the ring. I think he sells really good, and I like when Brock tries to put Seth in that back suplex and where Seth Rollins will land on his feet, or when John Cena tries to put him in attitude adjustment, Seth will land right on his feet. I love that shit. Them reversals, the way he sells. That boy can sell. He sells like Shawn Michaels almost. I love somebody that can sell. Man. Kevin Owens is a fucking genius because he's the perfect heel to a T. And he's a bully type. Seth and Kevin Owens, man, them niggas keep me watching, dude. And New Day, probably right there with them. The New Day. Now I like Brock Lesnar, dude, but he's definitely not my favorite because he's only part-time. Right. And good for him because he got the deal and the money and all that. He's just not there enough to justify being in my top. But as far as Brock being the heel and all that, oh man, he's the bomb diggity, you know.
Yeah.
Because I like him because he's not a chicken shit heel, you know. I think he's a babyface now. Who knows? Like when he beat up Roman Reigns, that was babyface versus a heel. Brock wasn't scared. Then out of the blue, Brock Lesnar said, "Suplex City, bitch," and the cameras called it, and it was just that made the WrestleMania right there. Suplex City, bitch, because he's thinking like, well, I'm doing the same fucking move over and over and over and over and over. He's like, well, Suplex City, bitch. You know, that's what I'm talking about. It's like you eat 12 cheeseburgers in a row. All right, well, Cheeseburger City, bitch. Eat more of them. That's me, man. Because all I buy is fucking Tombstone pieces when I'm broke. You know, cut them in half, frozen, and have me 2 meals out of one. I say, Tombstone City, bitch. You know, Tombstone City, bitch.
Well, the only thing with Lesnar, man, the only reason why I didn't include Lesnar is, and my reason is just because he's a monster and a destroyer, and there's nobody that can combat him. And or that they even push that can come near him, and he seems like he's just so indestructible. That's just too much for me to kind of.
He's too invincible for it. Yeah.
I mean, it's just he's indestructible, man. It's like you said, you know, he does the F5s and he beats the shit out of everybody and dominates. I can't pick somebody like that. That's why I'm not gonna pick Cena for sure. But for Lesnar, if Lesnar was like. If you had like Batista and Goldberg and some of these other guys that were big like that were in there, that were monsters, I could kind of pick Lesnar. But Lesnar looks like he's a giant among everybody else. And I've never been the type of person to like a wrestler or a superstar that's like that. I've never really cared for one that's been way over everybody else. And he just, to me, in WWE, you know, it's like nobody can beat him. You know, nobody can beat him and whatnot unless it's
kind of takes the fun out of it.
Right.
But I love when Brock Lesnar beat the shit out of John Cena at SummerSlam, and then 1 month later at the rematch, Cena almost beat him. What kind of horse shit is that? You know, I hated that, man. But the SummerSlam match was funny as shit, though. I love that, man. It was a dreams, fanboys' dream come true, man. Cena get his ass beat like that.
Yeah, that's true. I enjoyed that. I remember watching that.
He just ain't on the schedule that much for me to really like. I do like Brock though. He's a beast. They need to have. I don't know what the fuck happened on Raw tonight, but I hope they brought back Brock. No, because tonight would have been fucking slammies.
Yeah,
how do you capitalize on Vince McMahon's segment from last week? You bring Brock Lesnar back the next week. That's how you capitalize on it, Bill.
You know, you have a Slammy episode afterwards to bring it up.
Wow.
You got the Slammy Awards. That's horrible, dude. But I mean, that's wrestling. That's how it goes. It varies from week to week, and folks, that's why we come at you every week with a different episode and what has went on. Not only from what has went on in the past, but what is going on in the present, because it's just as much of what's going on now, even though the product is not the same as it was the last time. But we've tried to look forward to bringing that to you each and every single week, if all possible.
Well, if not every week, it'd be every other week.
Well,
so
that's possible.
So we're gonna keep we're gonna keep in touch with you guys. So don't despair. Like, for example, if the holidays are coming up, obviously, or something like that, you don't hear from us from a week or two, don't worry, because we'll always come back. We might even come back with 2 to 3 episodes just to catch up with you guys.
Right.
Really appreciate you watching. So if you ain't seen we upload a video in 2 or 3 weeks, like I said, don't despair, because we're gonna stick with this. We're always gonna come back. You know.
That's right.
And if you're disappointed there's not a recent upload, please go back and check out there's plenty of content for you guys. Because on my channel is Brandon's network, like WWE Network. And there's so many videos you can watch on demand. So many of them. You can check out TeamB Origins. Learn how I met this dude.
Exactly.
He poured water on my head. Trying to shrink this ego that I so had in my head. You guys got to see that. That was some funny stuff. This motherfucker slit his wrist, but did he really? On my toilet. You know, all kinds of stuff. So, and like I said, Bill Mack, I'm going to put a link. Every TeamB video is going to have a link to his channel. He's also on my feature channel. Check Bill out. He's got some straight up real talk for your ass. I thought I was hardcore with Snake in the Grass. As Mock Tarot's came out with Snake Bitten, titled differently, but he got snake bitten. There was a snake at my house the other day. He's still in here somewhere, and I'm not scared because I got tired of waiting on him. It might have went back. Dude, that snake's still in here somewhere. I think he must have left, dude. But I keep a lookout on him. I have looked and looked and looked. And that was last Thursday night, dude, when I saw it. Yeah, I'm not trying to talk about that shit. Anyway, plenty of content on Bill's channel. A lot of stuff. If you're in the good old Kentucky music, if you're in the good old country music, Bill's got all the coverage you can ever ask for. If you want to hear something even worse, check out my covers. I'm singing 50. I'm singing 50 Sinatra stuff. If you want to hear something even worse, you know what I'm saying?
Oh no, man! You say yourself too short with that. You got to listen to Bullet B's classic Frank Sinatra hits as he does his take on it, his cover for it. And the +2 on my page, you'll see the link in the description of videos with Brandon's channel. You got to check it out. He's got a lot of Zen philosophy for you. He's got a lot of covers for you. He's this YouTube known channel, Brandon's YouTube show that comes on there, and check it out. He's 30 episodes deep into that. You know, it's a big thing starting up on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen,
I just got done filming BYS number 33 with celebrity with guest host JP. So we see how it turns out. That's right. Man. He called me up. I said, well, shit, let's go ahead and make an episode out of this. We did 3 7-minute talking clips, and I was putting it together earlier. It'll be up tomorrow if you want to check it out. I don't think it turned out that good, to be honest with you.
Oh, don't be so hard on yourself, dude. I imagine.
Well, it's a gaming episode because all we talked about, the topic is about PS4 being backwards compatible with PS2. We talked about that, and by the third segment, he was getting into talking about Tanya a lot, but I told him we had to go. It was out of time, but he could say that for – no, seriously, we were out of time. But I was like, he could just say that for next episode, you know.
Oh, yeah. Always a good conversation starter when you start to talk about women, so that's sure. But, folks, we are so glad, you check his channel out. Like I said, I'll have his YouTube channel and link in my description. If you like our videos on my page, it's TeamB Presents. That's the section with them. I have Real Talk Bill Mack, which is basically, is basically straight advice. And then you have,
ladies and gentlemen, Bill gives some very, very good advice. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, everybody likes Bill. You know, that people like Bill's advice. I'm serious. Like when me and Bill used to work together, people walk up to him like he's some kind of guru or something. Can you fix my phone, Billy? Can you give me some advice about it? He is the master of giving advice, you know what I'm saying? He be giving me advice sometimes, and I take it. You know, I respect Bill and his advice, but a lot of times I already know stuff, and vice versa. When I tell him, so he's like, well, dude, I already know that. So we're just preaching to the choir because we're so good at it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
We both got master's degrees in friendship. So,
Oh yeah, that's exactly right. Exactly
so
right.
just, we're good. He's good people. I'm glad that Bill and I are friends. Pam, the TeamB founder, we became friends that way. Then Bill ended her. I'm fake, but
Oh, that's wrong, man. No, I ain't her, man.
that is wrong. I said, why'd you delete the TeamB founder? He's like, well,
She
she weren't talking, to be fair, but more for Pam, I wouldn't have met this really cool guy. He's a good guy. That motherfucker, he buy me food. I buy him toilet paper. Seriously. I'm like, just take the toilet paper, man. Just take it. Just take it.
That's right, man. My butt thanks you for that.
Yeah, Bill's going to be taking a shit one day. He's going to be like, man, motherfucker, I forgot to buy toilet paper. And he's going to open up the cabinet and be like, oh, shit, Brandon, that's right. That's right. Brandon hooked me up, man. Times of need and desperation, Bullet B is there. My brother testifies.
That is it. Well, yeah, and I appreciate it, man.
He's a good guy. Great to listen. He listened to your ass. He actually listened to people. Bill will actually listen to you. And it's so hard to find people to listen to you as far as your friends go, because all my friends are egomaniacs except for Bill. But I can actually talk to Bill, and he'd be like, I'll listen. I'll actually listen. A lot of guys our age are set in their ways, and they won't listen to you. They just do what they want to do. They want to boss their girlfriend around. It's their way or the highway. You see, me, I believe in listening to people. It doesn't mean I have to agree with it, but the smart people listen. That's how they got smart. They listen. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Bill, he's a smart guy. He listens. He gets girls that are far more attractive than girls I date because he's just shit.
Oh,
He's sincere. People know he's a real nigga. But back on yearbook.com, that Monterat has zillions of girls. He's like, oh, you talking to her? Shit, I had her strip naked last week.
It was the old days, man.
Bill's great. I'm going to be like Vince Russo and just kiss Bill's ass on the podcast for 10 minutes. Then Ross was like, man, Vince, you're a very, very kind man. Vince said, oh, it's all for you, JR. It's all for you in the WWE. It's terrible. You got to listen to that, Bill. It's new. Get the Ross report, Jim Ross. He just had Vince Russo on there. It's good, man.
All right, I'll check that out.
Like I said, JR, he's my favorite podcaster out there besides, as far as being well-known goes, as far as the pro WWE guys go. JR is the best. He is the best, I'm telling you. Because he was the best on commentary.
Yeah.
That's his world. His favorite growing up was Larry King. He always wanted to be a broadcaster like Larry King, just the Southern drawl version of Larry King. And he is. I love Larry King. I love JR. They're exactly alike, just different accents. You can tell they idolize each other. It's like Larry King is Darth Sidious and JR is Darth Vader, basically. The rule of two, the Sith. Yeah. That's
true.
Now, Bill, who's your favorite WWE commentator of all time, or WCW? Anybody?
Well, see, I'd have to do both because I kind of remember watching both of them. WWE, it had to be JR. It had to be JR WWE because I did like Gorilla Monsoon when he did primetime wrestling.
I miss Gorilla.
But I'd say JR probably is because I've listened to him more on WWE. WCW, it probably just Tony Schiavone. Tony Schiavone would be my favorite there because I grew up listening to Tony Schiavone commentate on WCW.
How dare you?
As well as
How
Jim
dare
Ross.
you? You left out Mongo McMichael, man. How dare you?
Mongo sucked, dude. Even with the horse, Mongo was horrible, man. I didn't like Mongo a bit. He was.
He had a terrible accent too. He had a terrible accent, man. Ugh. He had like a northern drawl accent too, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, he was from Chicago, I think.
Chicago, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Chicago, my kind of town. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's TeamB signing out. Thanks for checking out WWE Week in Review or whatever the fuck we're going to call it. But a good wrestling show. Hey, I had fun, man. I really enjoyed it.
It's great talking about wrestling, man. Always enjoyable.
I appreciate you co-hosting with me, man, because this show is 50% yours. Half is mine. I greatly appreciate Kevin Castle, you coming on here and talking with me.
As
No,
always.
seriously, man, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the game. We're doing good, man. We're getting better at this, man. We're getting better at it. I really enjoyed it. Thanks for listening to me. Even when I ramble, I appreciate it, man. That's why I bust my ass to listen to you, even though it's so damn hard to do. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing, Billy. Now, I love listening to Bill. That's why he's my best friend in the entire world. You know, I love Bill. I say I'm man enough to tell Bill that I love him, not the queer way. I couldn't get it up. My dick looks like a mushroom in a little garden, you know. So I can't say that. But, I mean, I love him like a brother. You know, if something happened to Bill, I'll fucking cry every goddamn day. That's why I like being friends with Bill, because you get where you care about the motherfucker. And you're like, well, if he dies, I'm going to cry all the time. You know, he's a good man, good guy. He's a good guy, a very good guy. And that's my plug for Bill, putting Bill over.
Thank you, man.
I would let Bill pin me. If we were in the wrestling ring and we had to do the favors, I wouldn't be like Hogan and say, hell no, I ain't laying down for nobody. I say, yeah, I'll take a pin from Bill Mack. Yeah, sure.
Do you take the poke of death?
Yeah, I would, man. It's all about I put Bill over, man. Everybody be like, Bill beat you. I'm like, well, you know, so what? I got paid.
I get it, man. I appreciate it. Feelings mutual, man. Same way. I couldn't ask for a better best friend, man. You really have been, dude.
Bill don't give me no compliments because he looks at me as a sin and Zen. That's why. He like, well, Bill's already just say I was Zen shit. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. You do give me compliments, unlike my other friends, so I do appreciate that.
Oh, I do, man. And I'm meaningful, man, from the heart. So, but yeah, folks, we've been through a lot, but you know, we're still kicking in there. Team B is still kicking ass, and we're going to keep continuing doing that. We're going to keep providing, because we want to do what you, the fans, want to know, and we try to give you what the fans, what we feel like you want, and enjoyable. We got varieties on our channels. When we do it together or when we're doing it separate, all we care about is the viewers and you that subscribe to us. So keep subscribing to us, keep watching our videos, keep us on that like station, and whenever you chance, always check us out. Give us the thumbs up, subscribe to us, and we're going to sign out here for this week. This week's wrap up, but we will be back again.
Wrestling show here, yeah.
That's right. So everyone, take care. Have a good night, as always. This is Bill Mack.
Bullet B, a.k.a. Brandon, the Maker, at your service. Team B signing out, ladies and gentlemen.
Signing out, folks.
Take care.